Alright, so we're gonna rotate spots so Craig doesn't look. Alright, so we're just gonna talk through our funnel here.
Let's talk through.
Alright, one of our guys we onboarded, absolute killer, just talked to us, right? A lot of our traffic right now is coming in cold.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have to turn the corner and build trust and as well urgency into these people, not only getting on the call, but actually making a buying decision.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I want to actually uncover how we're going about that in real time, because we're booking out like crazy. Like there's been in the last 60 days 140 meetings, all cold.
All cold.
We haven't ran one ad, and this acquisition source outside of Dialpad, which we just paid for yesterday, it was $150. If that's our only overhead, we made a
insane ROI.
40x ROI or something like that. I don't know. It's retarded. I don't even know what 40 would be. I don't think like 4K. It'd be like 400. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so up front, as soon as the cold call occurs, right, and someone is showing interest, what we were breaking down is like, okay, what is the first touch point that has to occur, right? Because we can't jump them too far down the funnel where it's like you're uncovering price and all this stuff, right? Up front, it's just building trust, right? Where it's like, okay, warm-up sequence is like, this needs to be all this is right here is just a website, right? It's a website, who we are, what we do, who we've helped, and this is building the trust.
Yeah, and something that you want to keep note of is in this point, right? So whether it's cold, whether it's paid ads, whatever acquisitions which you're running to drive leads to this, essentially the only point of this, I guess, part of the funnel is you're making them curious. And that's really what they're at. Like, who are these people? And this essentially is the asset that we're talking about building that answers the questions that someone has when they're curious. And that's these three questions. Who are we? What do we do? And who we've helped. And then from there we can get to each other of the other steps. But that's essentially the stage the lead is in, the mind frame of the lead at the moment, right? So something to keep in mind.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's like cold, right? They book, right? They agree to jumping on a quick 10-15 minute call with us and breaking everything down. And then they need to get these assets, right, in front of their face before actually getting on this call they booked, right? So then they hop on this call knowing about us, trust is built, right? Now, again, most people in the marketplace, especially cold and even warm, are running a 2-call close framework, right? Where it's not only like initial discovery call, where you're actually like, our boy Simon calls it, seeing if it has legs, right? Seeing if we can actually help them, seeing where they're at, where is their pain lying, right? Everything that goes on in that initial discovery call to see if they're actually a good fit for what you have to offer, right? Where my mind goes next is like, okay, the urgency now for them to get into a buying decision, right? Because really what I'm breaking down here is like not only the funnel, but like what occurs to make this like warm-up sequence actually convert leads at a really high level.
Yeah, so that's good. That's a good point. Before we skip over, this is step one, right?
Yeah.
So cold, booked, they're curious, step one, right? Real quick, before we dive into the next steps, right? The answer, Dries jumped into it a little bit with the 2-call close process, right? The reason why there's a 2-call close process and why that's like the main point in the market right now is because of this right here, is a lack of trust, right? There's a trust recession, as you may have heard, and people are getting sold all the time with this info stuff. So trust is the reason for a 2-call close process. It gives you 2 opportunities to have a face-to-face contact and have a bunch of other assets aligned like the one we're going over right now to warm them up and make them trust you more. Also, the KPI to look at when it comes to this asset specifically, pre-call 1 or call 2 technically if you're running a cold call, but pre-call 1, what we're gonna look at is show rates, right? And your prospects will tell you if this asset is bad, your show rates are gonna be low, and people are gonna, when you do follow-ups, people are gonna be like, honestly, I checked out your stuff, and it's not for me, right? So that's gonna be the metric to look at, right? Show rate. Just so we have that aligned. I guess Darius, what after this, right? We go from cold, they're curious,
Yep.
and then our next job is to make them problem aware, and that's on the call.
Yep.
I'm gonna dive into that.
Yeah, I mean that's the discovery call process, right? That's when you're getting into the actual like the scripts, the frame of the call, right? Like initial frame of how you even book the cold call, right? And again, these are all things that we help address internally with all of our partners to make sure frame is occurring in the right frame, right? Even internally for us, right? Again, we book so many calls, right? And we get really good conversions on it. Like we've had a PR month from this cold funnel we're running, right? But
I want to stress that it doesn't matter how the acquisitions come in, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how the
just
acquisitions come in. The point being that if we can do this with cold, imagine when you do it with paid,
yeah,
right? Imagine how
exactly.
good strong our systems are if we can do this and hit PR months of cold acquisitions.
Facts, right? So cold, people book, right? We got them booked on calendar. This is the first step on warm-up sequence, right? Build the trust. This matters with the show rate, all right? Now, step 2, so like, okay, now this is also call 1, right? And we need to get them to call 2, right? They booked call 2. It's like, okay, let's actually do a deeper dive and talk about what implementation looks like, right? Let's actually show you what coming on board is going to do for you, right? To solve the problems that you addressed in call 1, right? And so this is where the warm-up assets need to create urgency for them to buy on call 2, right? And so how we have it set up in this pillar, I should have wrote this out before we started the video because my mind's all over the place now. Obviously, they need proof. They need proof, so that's like testimonies, X, Y, Z, right? VSLs, like they need to understand, like they need more assets around like spending time with you, right? Breakout videos. This is where breakout videos come in, right? So answering any frequently asked questions that occur on the second call, right?
And real quick, this is where most ad companies, most people that are running any type of offer like this is where most people start. Actually, they skip all of this, the curiosity aspect of where the prospect's at, and they go right into let's make them problem aware and let's just breakout videos, FAQs, all that stuff before answering this stuff. So they're never going to digest this because they want this answer. They don't care about you exposing their problem. Who are you to expose their problem? They don't even know who you are.
Exactly.
Right. So this is where most people in the space actually start. Right. Running ads, whatever you're doing.
Yep. And then in this, right, of course, when they book this initial call, right, this is the warm-up sequence, and this occurs, again, through a website, but also email and SMS, right, pre-call, right, pre-call 1. Same thing occurs over here, pre-call 2, right?
Yep.
You're going to have email, SMS, and the biggest thing that our guy internally has been doing is making this right here personalized.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, direct marketing is king, guys. Direct marketing is king. People want it to be personable.
Sure
AI is
is.
taking everything away. No Calendly workflows. You get rid of your Calendly workflows, and whatever you want to tell your setter to text them instead. And don't automate the send of the email and get your setter to just send them the email and say they're thinking about them.
Yep.
Or not the email, the website. Get your setter to just send it directly to them. Direct marketing wins. I need you guys to understand that.
Yep. 'Cause
Personalization.
That helps this across the board for up there and down here. Right? 100%. And we've even been doing this personalized. Right? And that has been huge as well. That way they know they're getting into an ecosystem of people they can trust. Like we're not going anywhere through this whole process. We're gonna walk them through step by step, right? So they're already getting a feel of what working with us looks like, right? They're not getting handed off to a bot or some AI setter or like just again things like automations, right? Another big thing that happens down here in this step 2, right? Like again, we gotta create urgency. Of course, you need to have a killer closer and killer like closing frameworks to obviously convert deals and collect on that second call. I don't know where my mind was going with what I'm missing here in this kind of warm up sequence. What am I missing here, Craig?
No, I think this is actually really good because this is the solutions that we help you provide, right? We have all the information around this, and this is really aligned with our offer. This is what we're good at, right? We're good at the systems. This is what we mean when we say systems, marketing and sales systems. The best way to complement this is by being a killer closer, right? That's the best way you can complement these actual systems. So I mean, that's where my brain's at with it. As far as what you're missing, it's the sales stuff, but that's because if you want to be the best fit for our offer, you need to be good at sales. That's just what it is. I can't help you if you're not good at sales, you know. So
yeah, facts. We can help you bring the demand in, whether that's cold or even warm, right? This process, right here, is what we pearl by getting obviously your offer, ICP, your messaging.
Perfect. Yeah, that's the foundation for how we build all of this.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
So we have offer, ICP, messaging. We have our knowledge. We have what works for us. We have what works for our clients. We use what works for us, our clients, our knowledge. We integrate that with your offer, ICP, and messaging, and then we build out all this stuff with you. And that's essentially,
and then this is money.
That's essentially acquisition ascension right here. That's what you're looking at.
5 figures, or better,
Five
Or
figures
better.
or better. Yeah.
or better, or better. This is step 3,
Yeah.
right? And obviously onboarding and shit like that, but make this process personalized, guys. Genuinely, make this process personalized. Make sure you have the warm-up sequences that are occurring, so people are showing up ready to buy, right? Understand where a prospect is at psychologically, from whether they're coming in warm, cold, right? The frame of this, and you have to reverse engineer that from the honestly from the bottom up, so that it's in congruence with your guys' offer, right? And just how this is personalized per person that you need to be selling to, right? We personalize all of this stuff
to your offer.
Your offer, all of our clients get it personalized, and that's what we lay the foundation with within that first 48 to 72 hours. And then from there, it's just moving at it with speed. So you guys can book out and actually get real demand for what you sell in the marketplace, right? Because 9 times out of 10, referrals, word of mouth, is again not predictable, right? And you're probably getting a bunch of tire kickers and people that aren't taking action when they're booking calls with you guys, right? So your offer can sell. You see people doing 100+K a month, right? And this is the actual processes that they're running, and we want you guys to have this process built in-house. This way you're not relying on another agency to do this, right?
Another agency will not do this. Another agency will not personalize this. Another agency they're going to go with exactly what they think their strategy is, and you're going to hope your offer fits into their strategy. They're not going to personalize all this. That's the problem with agencies. So just to lay that on the table.
Yep. And we have the SOPs for every part of this process, how to do it at really high level, and the proof behind every single aspect of it, and where bottlenecks may occur between this, right? If this isn't aligned, how this can affect the warm-up sequence. If this process, the nurture process between call 1 and call 2 is off, right? There's metrics between every single step of this, where we have a section called bottleneck diagnostics, right? And that just addresses where any leaks in the funnel may occur, right? And again, that process gets personalized for what you guys do and your offer. And where can they find us, Craig?
Yeah, so if you guys want help with implementing this kind of stuff, you can reach out to us at Solna Digital on Instagram. One of us will contact you and we'll hop on a call, see if it's a good fit, and go from there, right?
Yeah. Anything else you want to cover in this before we go?
No, I think this is a good overview of just kind of the tip of the iceberg of what we do here at Solna. So
yep.
Stay in tune.
Exactly. Stay tapped in. Motion.